Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. Now, I don't do much of this YouTube drama type stuff very often, but I figured what the heck. It has to do with Joe Rogan and Alex Jones. Of course, Alex Jones was banned from the YouTube platform a while back for the comments he was making about Sandy Hook, about how it was a hoax, and how he had, in fact, tried to convince people, to harass those said parents. Now, many people have sat there in message boards and on here on YouTube telling me that I'm wrong about that. Well, I watched the video because I used to be a big supporter and a big fan of Alex Jones up until Sandy Hook. At which point, his insanity lost me. But now he's declared war on Joe Rogan. So much so that he has tried to expose him for things he said in the past. Back when the Planet of the Apes movies came out, he apparently mentioned in a podcast that he had gotten out of his car and walked into the Planet of the Apes because in the area there were no white people. Was it a racist comment? Yes. But I find it kind of interesting from a man who makes racist comments all the time in Alex Jones. He basically threw Joe Rogan under the bus for something he said years ago. Because he is all sorts of crap for something that he said over the years. And it's not like he just quit recently. I mean, up until I was hearing him talk about Sandy Hook and how it was all fake up until like 2017. So it's really not that old, Alex. But you want to bring up stuff that Joe Rogan said years ago. Okay. I get it. I understand you're mad at him. So you want to throw him under the bus so he hurts like you do, huh? And that's great. Whatever. Y'all are supposed to be friends, though. I've never seen supposed friends disintegrate so quickly over something so lame as a podcast where he may have said something that you didn't like. Where he's decided he doesn't want to do conspiracy theories on his podcast much anymore. And you think he's owned by the CIA because he doesn't want to do that. He wants to focus on things that we know are reality. And that makes him an operative for the CIA. Owned by George Soros and the globalists. Is that really what you think of Joe Rogan? Does Joe Rogan really look like the person who would sell himself out to the CIA? Or sell himself out to George Soros? The man's got plenty of money, so you can't say he wants the money. He doesn't need the money. He's even said on his podcast that he doesn't even, that if he loses a sponsor for something he says, it doesn't hurt him that bad. So do you really think he needs the money from some government agency or George Soros? Really? Alex Jones, you've completely lost your mind. And now, you want to fight him? You're talking about a bare knuckles fight against Joe Rogan? So you want to fight a guy who's in shape, works out, knows the fight game, and you want to fight him as an out-of-shape old man who has no clue. You play a big man in your videos. Big whoop. Joe Rogan could whoop your ass any day of the week. And obviously you don't understand that. You think you're just God's gift to the world. You have these high ideas of grandeur for yourself. Where you think you're just better than everybody. You know everything. I once had a professor that had a conversation. We talked about people listening or feeling they hear God telling them to do terrible things or stupid things. We're talking about George W. Bush and how George W. Bush told him, or that God told him, to go to war in Iraq. He referred to that as schizophrenia. He would refer to that as being, he would say, George Bush believes God told him to go to war in Iraq. That's schizophrenia, students. And that's how the professor put it. And that's what this looks like. You've lost your ever-loving mind. I don't know what kind of mental issues you have, Alex Jones, but you appear that you need to get on some medication. Something's severely off with you. Something's severely wrong with you, Alex Jones. I say this as a former supporter. Please get help. I would love for you to go back to being sane again. You didn't used to be absolutely insane. You used to bring conspiracy theories up, yes. But a lot of them were based in fact. Based off of real events that happened. You're reporting after the Fukushima disaster over in Japan about the radiation crossing the ocean. You were right on that. You were correct. You were right to blow the whistle on that. Yet, after Sandy Hook, you start going down a rabbit hole that you can't get out of. You dig yourself so far into that rabbit hole that you can't seem to get yourself out of it. I would love for you to come back, from the depths of wherever you have gone, and bring back the Alex Jones that we all remember. I used to be a huge fan. I used to watch your InfoWars stuff here on YouTube all the time. Now, my political views have changed a lot since then, so I don't necessarily agree with a lot of your political views. But you were fun to watch. You were an alternative. You were a place for me to go to hear a different side of things without complete insanity. So please, Alex Jones, get some help. This war you're waging against Joe Rogan makes no sense. You've lost it. Claiming he's working for the CIA? Claiming you want to get in a fight with him? All because you had a disagreement on something? Or he said something on a podcast that you didn't like? Your first thought is war? Let's go to war and destroy somebody? Now I know you throw that word politically in there. You want to destroy him politically. And that's great. But a lot of your listeners don't hear that. That's sure not what they heard when you were pushing that Pizzagate conspiracy. It was so bad that somebody showed up with a gun to that pizzeria and thank God nobody was injured. Nobody was shot. Thank God. But Alex Jones, please come back to sanity. If you would come back to sanity, the whole thing with Sandy Hook would have never happened. You wouldn't have Sandy Hook parents suing you right now and getting a hold of all your financial information. You wouldn't have a group of people who are about to take you for everything you got. Anyhow, this has been the Big Rand Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck, and I'll see you down the road.